Poem for 2 Corinthians 5:17. A new creation. The old has gone, the scars erased. By hands of mercy, love embraced. No longer bound by chains of sin. A life renewed now starts within. He does not mend with fleeting tread, but breathes new life where death once spread. Each corner bright, each broken part, is made anew within the heart. Oh, child of God, arise in light. Rejoice, for you are born to flight. The old has gone, the new is near. Behold, the masterpiece is here. Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. Expanded theme: Recreation, a life made completely new. Introduction: Not just repaired, recreated. There's a huge difference between something that's fixed and something that's made new. Think about an old car that's been patched up and repainted. From the outside, it might look fresh, but under the hood, the same old engine sputters. Contrast that with a brand new car, fresh off the production line. Every part pristine, every system state-of-the-art. When God makes us new, He doesn't just panel beat us into shape. He recreates us from the inside out. Every facet of our being, our heart, our mind, our priorities is remade. This isn't a superficial makeover. It's a total transformation. Part 1. The difference between repair and recreation. Paul's use of the term new creation in 2 Corinthians 5:17 is intentional. It's not about God patching up our brokenness. It's about Him making us entirely new. Repair addresses the symptoms. Recreation fixes the source. Repairs focus on masking the issue. Recreation transforms the foundation. God doesn't just smooth over our sin or teach us to manage it. Through Jesus, He removes our sin entirely, Psalm 103:12, and gives us a new heart and spirit, Ezekiel 36:26. Recreation is comprehensive. It's not just your spiritual life that changes. It's your priorities, your desires, your relationships, your habits. God doesn't work in parts. He transforms the whole person. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This renewal isn't just a tweak to how we think. It's an overhaul of the way we see the world. Illustration. Imagine a house gutted down to the foundation. Every old, unsafe part is removed, and what's built in its place is stronger, better, and designed for the future. That's what God does in us. Part 2. God's careful attention to detail. When God makes us new, He doesn't rush the process or settle for mediocrity. He's the master craftsman, paying attention to every detail of our lives. Biblical reflection. Consider Psalm 139, 13-14. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. If God took such care in creating us, how much more will He take care in recreating us in Christ? God's work in us. He reshapes our desires so that we long for what pleases Him. Philippians 2:13. He rewires our minds, giving us the mind of Christ. 1 Corinthians 2:16. He renews our relationships, teaching us to love and forgive as He loves and forgives. Illustration. Have you ever seen a potter working on clay? Every curve, every indentation is shaped with deliberate care. The potter doesn't rush. He takes time to make sure the vessel is exactly as He envisions it. That's how God works in us, shaping every part of our lives with love and precision. Part 3. Living out the reality of recreation. If God has made us new, why do we sometimes live as if we are still the old version of ourselves? The truth is, embracing our new identity requires intentionality. Recognize what's been made new. In Christ, you are not just forgiven, you are freed, John 8:36. You are not just redeemed, you are restored. Take time to reflect on what God has already done in your life. Align every part of your life with His work. A truly recreated life impacts every area. Your time, how are you spending it? Does it reflect your new priorities in Christ? Your words, are they life-giving, gracious, and reflective of the God who made you new? Your relationships, are you extending the forgiveness and love you've received? Continue to submit to His transforming work. Philippians 1:6 reminds us, He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Being recreated is both an event and a process. Every day, God is shaping you into His image. Humor. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Just when you think the picture is complete, you find there's more to add. God's work in us is ongoing, and the final masterpiece is worth the wait. Part 4. The goal of recreation, reflecting Christ. Why does God go to such lengths to recreate us? So that we can reflect the image of Christ to the world. Biblical reflection. Ephesians 2:10 says, For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. We are not just recreated for our own benefit but to glorify God and bless others. Illustration. Think of a polished diamond. It doesn't shine for itself. It reflects the light it receives. When God recreates us, we become vessels of His light, shining His love into a dark world. Application. Living fully as God's masterpiece. Embrace the process. Trust that God is working, even when the changes feel slow or hard. Evaluate your life. Ask yourself, are there areas where I'm still clinging to the old? Surrender those to Him. Celebrate the new. Rejoice in the work God has done and is continuing to do in you. Closing story. The sculptor's vision. There's a famous story about Michelangelo. When asked how he created his masterpiece, David, he replied, I simply removed everything that wasn't David. That's what God does in us. He sees the masterpiece He created us to be, and through the work of His Spirit, He removes everything that doesn't belong. The result? A life that reflects His beauty, power, and grace. Closing challenge. Where in your life do you need to embrace God's recreation? This week, ask Him, Lord, remake me, every part of me, so that I reflect who You've called me to be. Final encouragement. You are not an old, patched-up version of yourself. In Christ, you are brand new, every part of you. Let go of the old, embrace His work in you, and live boldly as a reflection of His transformative power.